broadcast. I'm so excited to have you on with me tonight. I'm looking forward to speaking with you. It's been a nice little weekend, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoyed your time away with your family. I'm just going to work, make sure my camera's set good so we can talk a little bit. But I wanted to go over a few things with you tonight. I wanted to basically go into talking about the weekend and the next few days. We have 19 more days before the new year. And I feel like my camera's fogging, messing up for me, but let's go from there. But we have 19 more days before the new year. And so with us having 19 more days before the new year, we want to talk about what we can do to get our mind right. What do we need to do to get everything in place? And so that's what I want to talk about. I've been reading, let me go over a few things with you because I wanted to kind of give you some things that I've been doing, but I've been preparing my mind. We're ready for 2019 to come, and we're all excited about the new year and ready to make new year resolutions and ready to get everything in place. But are you really mentally ready? I was telling someone today, and I posted it on my Facebook Live, is that we live our life. We're trying to live our life, but we're basically going and doing this, living our life, but we have this period of time where we go and do a Russian roulette with our health. I was telling her about how we're thinking we're living the best life, doing what we know how to do, but we're playing Russian roulette with our health. And so I wanted to talk to you about that tonight. I'll make sure my phone is also, we won't have any interruptions, but I wanted to make sure that that you understand that you can't play. If you wanted to live your best life, you can't play Russian roulette with your health. We're thinking that I'm living my best life, I'm doing what all I need to do, but yet, health wise, you're not doing what you need to do. You're saying, well, I can put off going to the doctor, or I can put off getting this test results, or I can put off going and doing a dieting exercise. I can put off some things, but that's playing Russian roulette. And when we start to play Russian roulette with our mind as well as with our body, then you're setting yourself up for failure. And so you want to live and you want God to give you your abundance, but yet you're playing Russian roulette with how you treat yourself mentally and how you treat your body. So I'm got the question to you tonight is, why would you play Russian roulette with your body and your mind when you're trying to live your best life? That just doesn't make sense. It's like oil and water. It doesn't blend. It doesn't mesh together. So if I want to live my best life, then I have to stop playing games with my life. So you have to start looking at yourself and saying, I have 19 more days before the new year. In this time frame, what do I need to do? I've been reading this book, and it's called the Draw the Circle, the 40 Days prayer challenge. Draw the Circle, the 40-day prayer challenge. And in this book, it's given me a lot of good nuggets, and I want to go over a few of those with you tonight. But it challenges you to pray, but also to think and get your body and mind together. So, whatsoever a man thinketh, so is he. So when we get to a place that we're talking about neuropathic trainers, I'm training you to think outside of the box. I'm trying to get you to expand and take the limits off of God. I'm trying to get you to say, I want to live a healthy life, but I don't want to continue to play Russian roulette. I don't want to continue to alternate my medicine. And if I have a good day, I won't take it, because just get off of it, period, and do the right things health wise so you can get off of it. When I say get off of it, period, do things that you know you need to do to get off the medications that will not continue to have you play this Russian roulette. Because if you don't take the high blood pressure medicine, then you get sick, and then something else happened, and then another thing happened. But that's called Russian roulette. That's called that you're going and playing Russian roulette. You don't have a gun. You not got the gun, but you got the gun of the mouth. You got the gun of the mindset. You got the gun of the body. So you're playing Russian roulette with your health situation, where you're like, I want to live the best life. I want to go on trips, but you're not doing the things that's lining up with it. So don't play Russian roulette with your health. You have 19 days before the new year. And then this new year, you're looking at where you at and how you're doing things. And so you want to say, am I doing what I need to do that I won't continue to play games with my health? That I'm not doing what I need to do to take the 15, 20-minute walk or get off the couch and just jog in place. I was telling someone today, one of my besties, I said, you know what? I said, you have to get to the point where if you just got to stand in place and walk and mark time for 20 minutes. That's getting the heart going. That's getting the blood flowing. So sometimes we play so many games that we're like lackadaisy in our situation that we're not thinking that it's affecting us. So what's going on in the inside eventually shows up on the outside. So I was telling some people yesterday, I said, when you start to look at where you at and what you're doing, you start to recognize that I can't continue to do things the same way. I can't continue to live that life that's not going to allow me to walk in my abundance. I can't continue to go to a place where I'm not going to be moving forward, because when you get to a place that you're playing games, and it's not that you intentionally do it, don't get me wrong. It's not that you intentionally do it, but your mind is telling you, oh, I feel good. I don't need to take that medicine. And so what do you do to make sure that you don't have to take it, that you don't have those setbacks or those places where you kind of get off the wagon, sort of say, and on your health line. So what you have to do is say, I'm going to take the time to evaluate where I'm at and make sure that I can get off of it completely. Completely. That means I want to be able to evaluate my health situation, get off of the high blood pressure medicine, get off of the diabetes medicine, get off of the heart medicine, whatever that you need to do to get your body to align with your mind so you can heal yourself within. Because, like I said, in regards of the mindset, when we set our mind to something, it's telling your mind that you're going the course, you're going to finish the race. Sometimes things, obstacles, and other things come in place that stops you from going forward. But you have to remember that in the process of doing this, I'm telling myself that I'm going to make it. Encourage yourself like David did. In the Bible, it talked about David encouraging himself in the midst of the storm, in the midst of what he was going through. He yet encouraged himself. So you have to get to a place in your life where you're saying, I don't understand what's going on, but God, I trust you. And that's what this book did for me. It was a couple of things in here in this book, and I'm going to show it again. And it says, draw the circle, the 40-day prayer challenge. And so in this book, it tells you how to go and get yourself in a place where you can hear from God, but also challenge your prayer life to walk into your abundance. Sometimes we have to get to a place where we pray, but we also have to sit back and listen. We pray, but we also have to sit back and listen. Let the mind receive the answers that God has given you. So sometimes we have to sit back and say, you know what? I prayed about it. I need to take some quiet time and listen and see what God is telling me. Sometimes you have to let the brain shut down, because I was telling someone the other day, sometimes, so many times that we are so going, that we have our brain going so many times that we can't even sleep properly, because our brain is constantly moving, constantly thinking, constantly trying to rejuvenate itself and move forward. But if you don't slow down and balance yourself, you're sabotaging yourself. So if you don't take the time to say, God even rest on the seventh day, he just took time to rest. So if you don't take time to, at the end of the day, evaluate where you at, evaluate your time space and where you're going and how you're doing it, and sit back and say, you know what, I could have did this different that day, and start looking at yourself daily. Start to look at where you at. Start looking at yourself daily to understand that this is what you need to do. So when you get to a place in your life, you're saying, I'm at a better place now because I know where I'm at. I know what I'm doing. And so start to evaluate your mindset. Start to look at where you're going and say, you know what? I'm doing something to better myself, because I'm not going to continue to have Russian roulette with my health. I'm not going to continue to have Russian roulette where things are going one way and then next thing a roller coaster coming and I'm ready to pull the trigger on my health or my mindset because someone told me that I wasn't worthy of having that business, or someone told me I wasn't worthy to write that book, or someone told me that I shouldn't be losing that much weight, or that someone told me I couldn't do certain things. But what you're doing is you're allowing them to come in and sabotage your demise. They're sabotaging where God has called you to be. Like I said yesterday in our Facebook Live, I said, you know what? Your vision is your vision. What God has given you is for you. It's not for your neighbor. It's not for your husband. It's not for your children or your parents or whoever, your siblings. It's for you. Your vision God gave you is for you to walk it out, for you to work it out. So I can't go and say, oh, I'm going to use Pastor Kevin, for example. I can't go and walk in his vision because that's God. That's what God gave him. I don't have his vision. I don't have what God has given him. Now, I can probably mimic and try to imitate what God has showed him, but I won't get 100% of it because it's not mine. So many times we let other people come in and sabotage us from obtaining the health, obtaining the right mindset to move forward. And then we start to sabotage ourselves. We start to play that Russian roulette game where we're going to go in and say, oh, well, I think I better not, because it's going to affect, are they not going to like me, or they're not going to go treat me the way they've been treating me. I used to say, well, who are they? Who are the days? Are they the days that put you on earth? Are they the days that are allowing you to move forward? Because there is going to be people, like I said before, there's going to be three types of people. People that's in your life for a reason, people that is in your life for a season, and people that's in there for a lifetime. Those are the days. And as they go, allow them to expand, to use their expiration or their termination notice to move on. Don't try to hold them up or try to keep them with you when it's time for them to move on. Don't try to allow them to stay in your way of moving forward in your next blessing, because so many times we'll look at where we at and we're like, I should have done this a little different, or I should have been in a different area. But because you allow someone that was there for a season, that helped you move to your next level, that helped you to grow to get where you need to go, you allow them to continue to linger on when God is saying, let them go. Get your mind to a place where you know the seasons, the reasons, and the lifetime people. Get yourself in a place where you understand where you need to be at that time. Because like I said, it's so many times we allow people to self-sabotage you. You let someone else's center of what they want, they sabotaging you, and then you become self-sabotage. Then you take on the place where you start to self-sabotage what God has told you, because you allow other people to come in and tell you something about you instead of examine it and taking it as a grain of salt or whatever you need to do to change certain things if needed. So, because sometimes people will tell you stuff and you don't need to change because they're looking at their way of what you should do or how they feel you should do it. Because like I said before, the vision is your vision. And you could tell people your dreams, your aspirations, or how you want to do things. But the thing about it is they can only be there to help you, not to carry you. Let me say this again. They are there to help you, not to carry you. When I say carry you, they can't take your vision and move you to the next level unless they help you. And that's how they carry you. That's how they assist you. That's how they giving you the instructions. They can't go and take the baton and move it for you. You have to be the one to move it yourself. So what I'm saying is take some time to evaluate your life these next 19 days. The holidays are coming. And like I said yesterday, with the holidays here and they fastly approaching us, do something unique that's different that allows you to see yourself a little different. And you said, Trina, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by doing something unique and different to allow me to see myself different? See yourself to the place where you helping someone else that you didn't think you could. Like I said, this is a season where some people have anxiety, Some people are depressed. Some people don't like the holidays because they lost a loved one or they don't have someone with them that they had before. And so take the time to go to a dollar store or go to a store that you can get candy canes and put a little ribbon on the end of it and give them out to people, not just because it's something nice to do, but something to encourage them, to let them know that someone care about them. So many times that we're at the season where this is the season that God give a gift, and he gave his only begotten son. That's a precious gift. So why come we can't give a tangible gift to someone? It doesn't take that much. I'm not saying to go give 30, $50,000 or go give $30 or $40 or however many to give out to someone. I'm just saying give someone something kind this holiday season. That way when you start doing that, you start shifting the atmosphere with your mind. You start to shift things. And so many times we want to shift it in a praise or how we pray or how we do things. But the simple thing is the way you think. The way you think about a thing changes a thing. So when you think on something, you start to allow the atmosphere to change because you're putting it out there in the ozones or in the layers or whatever you want to say. And so you're telling God, I'm thinking on this thing. So whatsoever a man thinketh, so is he. So if I'm thinking that I'm going to give these gifts, I'm going to be prosperous, or I'm going to be financially out of debt, or I'm going to be healthy, or I'm going to take care of my neighbor as I see myself, I'm going to do all these things that God has told me to do in the Bible, then I have to start with my mind, start changing the way I'm thinking, because the more I start to look at where I'm at and how I'm doing it, it allowed me to see myself a little different. In this book, I'm going to go over a few things, just 2 or 3 things in here, because on day 8, which was a good day in reading this book, because it goes through all the different days. But in day 8, it talks about a God idea. And God ideal is, it says, a God idea, one God ideal is worth more than 1,000 good ideas. Now, where do you get a God idea? It happens in your mind. You think on it. So when you start thinking on something, you're praying and you're balancing out. So you take your prayer time, and through your prayer time, you saying, okay, God, I'm taking this prayer time. I'm doing the things I need to do. And so in my prayer time, I'm going in and saying, I want to think different. I want to do things different. So in my prayer time, I'm allowing the prayer to get in my spirit as well as in my mind. So when I'm doing these things, I'm saying, I need you, God, to give me that God idea. Pray and ask God to give it to you. He said, whatsoever you ask, he'll give it to you liberally. He said, I want you to I want you to be in good health, even as our soul has, and prosper, be a prosperous. So he says he'll give us witty inventions. We don't bring the word back to God and say, God, but this is what you said in your word. We want to analyze it, dissect it, but not live it. We want to analyze it, dissect it, but not live it. And so, and what do you mean by that, Trina? We don't want to live the word. We don't want to go and make and give back to God what he told us. We don't want to go and say, well, God, you said this. This is your promise. I'm just reminding you of what you told me. I want to live that life. I want to go and be that vessel. I want to be that person that you call to help someone. So what is my God idea in 2019? What is that one God idea that's going to shift me, shift my family, change my situation, change my thoughts, change my pattern? How do I get to a place where I can see you moving on my behalf constantly? I don't want to have just a flow. I want to have the overflow. I want to have the abundance. And I was thinking about the widowmite, the one lady that had the one son. And she said, when Elijah came to her, she said, well, prophetess, I don't have but this. She had one thing. She said, I'm going to make this cake. Me and my son are going to eat it, and we're going to die. And he's like, she said, but what I have, I give unto you. Not knowing that was one God idea. She said, well, I got this. I'm going to bake it. I'm going to give it to you. And so she did that. And then eventually her oils never ran out. So she had an idea to go and sell them, get the canisters to everyone And after she got all these candles, she filled them up with oil and she gave them back out to the people. She became so wealthy based off of a one God idea. She sacrificed something. She sacrificed, don't get me wrong, but the God ideal led her to her blessings. What is God telling you to do in 2019? What is the mind? What part of your mind is he telling you to do something? Change the way you're thinking. Don't have this Russian roulette and with your health and with your body and with yourself, that your mind is not thinking the way you need to, because so many times we're self-sabotaging ourselves because we're not listening to what God is telling us to do. And so in doing that, we're saying, I can't do it. I can't move forward. But God is saying, I gave it to you. Whatever you need is in you. Everything you need is in you right now. Everything you have in you is for you to be successful, for you to walk in your purpose. Now, he give us wisdom. And what he says, if you're lacking it, he will give it to you freely, liberally. I mean, overflow. So whatever you feel that you don't have, ask him. Whatever you feel that you need, ask him. Because the thing about it, we get so caught up on asking other people that we don't go to the master that has the plan. We don't go to him and say, God, I need you to help me. No, we rather go and say, brother, I'm short on my money. I'm short on this and I'm short on that. Can you help me with it? And we're asking other people to come in and do what God has said he can do. And so many times we want someone else to fix it when God has said, I need to put my hands on it. Don't tell God to take his hands off of your situation, because when God take his hands off, you don't know when he's going to put them back on. So you rather have his hands on your business, on your family, on your vision. You want God involved in everything. So a one God idea is worth more than 1,000 good GOOD ideas. So I'd rather have a GOD than have a GOOD idea. So give me my God idea so I can walk in my purpose, that I can do what I need to do. Allow your mind to seek him, and that he will allow you to get to that place. Because so many times we have a God idea, but what we do is we let other people tell us, oh, that ain't, yeah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't take on that idea because I don't see you opening up that business, or I don't see you having that radio station, or I don't see you doing a broadcast, or I don't see you writing that book, because someone else's way of thinking is not God's idea. What is God's idea for you and your family? Start praying that the next 19 days. Say, God, we have 19 days left. And in these 19 days, it's so ironic. I told them in my prayer this morning online when I had my prayer line at 6 o'clock. I said, we have 19 days until 2019. I said, that's a divine revelation. 19 days before 2019. So take the today, which is the day 19, take this day and start saying, Lord, I want to prepare my mind for 2019, 19 day. On the 19th day before the new year, start counting down 19 days before you get to 2019. Start looking at yourself a little different and say, I have 19 more days, God. Let me start balancing out my mind so I can start feeding my brain the things that you want me to have. Start allowing your mind to get the nutrition that it needs so you can start doing what you need to do in 2019. So many times we sit back and let other people's opinion of us stop us from our blessing. Or either if they can't help us, or if something come up, then it stops us, or it starts us to draw back. And when we draw back, God is saying, come forward. It's like on one part of the book, it says, I'd rather walk out, I'd rather get out of the boat and know that I can walk on the water than stay in the boat and never know that I could walk on the water. You have to be at a place where you get off the boat, trust God, and be like Peter and walk on the water than to stay in a boat and never know that you had the ability to do something God told you to do, because you didn't trust your instinct. You didn't trust that you had enough intelligence or knowledge to do what God has told you to do. So get out of the boat, off the boat, and start walking on faith. Start taking these 19 days and say, you know what, God, I'm going to do what you told me to do. I'm going to take these 19 days, these next few days, and I'm going to evaluate my family. I'm going to evaluate my time. I'm going to evaluate where I'm at because I want my mind to line up with yours. I want to have king vision. I want to be able to see what the kingdom is doing, what I need to do to build up the kingdom. Let me get in a place where I know I'm in an overflow. Because once I'm in the mindset, once you start to use the mind to move forward, you're starting to tell God, I trust what you give me. It's like a slap in the face to me. This is me, my personal opinion. It's like a slap in the face that we don't go and use our mind to the highest ability that God has given us. Because what you're telling God is, I don't trust that the knowledge that I'm obtaining or the knowledge that you have given me or the wisdom that you have given me is worth enough to step out on. So you're telling God, whatever you have given me is not worth it for me to step out on because I don't trust my intellect. I don't trust my mind. So whatever you have told me to do, I don't trust it. So that's like telling God, I don't trust what you put in me. You're telling him, I know that, you put all these things in me and I feel the urge to do certain things, but I have a hesitant to not do it because I don't trust that I can do it. That means you don't have enough self-esteem or you have a lack of faith in yourself to believe that God has put everything in you. He said, I knew you before you were even formed in your mother's womb. When you was actually being in your mother's womb, and Jeremiah, he said, in the womb, I formed you. In the womb, I ordained you. In the womb, he knew who you were. So if he knew then, 40, 50, 60, how many years ago, who you were, why wouldn't he know what you need for 2019? Why wouldn't he know what you needed for 2018? On December the 12th, 2018, how would he not know what you needed today to move forward to next year? We serve a God that knows the beginning and the end. When he said it's finished, it's finished. What we have to remember is that we have to go through the process. And as we go through the process, we start to look at where we at and say, you know what? The process might not be what I think it is or how I think it should be, but I trust that God gave me enough wisdom and enough knowledge, and I have the ability to feed my brain what it needs to do. Sometimes we forget, like I'm getting ready to do right now, is take a sip of water. We forget to stay hydrated. We forget to do the things, the simple things to keep us going. We forget to go forward and saying, God, I trust you for the simple things. Because see, the thing about it is we get so caught up on what someone else is telling us or how they say to do it. But God is saying, I want you to focus on what I want you to do. Focus on where I have you at, because so many times we look at someone else's opinion about us, and it's so scary because they can be so influential on your decisions that you start to change what you're doing when you know you shouldn't change it. Excuse me. Some people go back and say, well, I can't do this because I know I have a problem with this. And so because they have a fear with it and someone told them they can't, or they feel that they can't do it, then they slack back. So what God is saying tonight is, don't put a limit on me. Take the limits off in 2019. Take the limits off your mind. Take the limits off of your health. Take the limits off of being in good health, because so many times we want to be in good health, but we put limits on it because the doctor said you got to take this pill and you don't see yourself without taking that pill, or the doctor said you got to take this for the rest of your life, and you can't see yourself not taking it because you don't see yourself being healthy. And so we become codependent on a prescription or on a medication that the body is not used to or are not ready to digest. Our body cannot digest the medication that we are given from pharmaceutical products. And so many times that we have side effects from medication because the body is not able to obtain it or either digest it the proper way. So the side effects, because our body is not meant to handle all that, that's where the side effects come in. The side effects is coming in because we're having taking something that is causing us problems after we're taking it because our body was not created to take it. And so when your mind has started to have problems with it, then we start to say, well, I have short-term memory loss, or I'm starting to have, this constantly remembers. I can't remember little things from yesterday. I can't remember where I put my keys at, because sometimes we're so overwhelmed with life that our doctor would go say, well, maybe you need to take an antidepressant. Maybe you need to take some anxiety medicine, instead of just taking some time to rest, taking some time to not take deep breaths. I talked about that before. Take some time to take that breath and say, breathe in and breathe out. These next 19 days, take some time to sit back and say to 10 deep breaths, breathe in and breathe out. Allow yourself to see yourself and on the canvas of your mind going forward in 2019. Allow yourself to understand that there is no limits on God. There is no limits. We put the limitation on them. We put the limitation where we said, I can't do it. I can't move forward. I can't do this because I see myself having problems. And so when you start to put limitations on them, then you're telling God, I don't trust what you told me, or I can't do that right now. I don't have enough faith. I don't have enough courage to do it. Because one thing I do know, that David was a man that he encouraged himself no matter what. Saul said, well, I got this other son. He's over there tending to the sheep. He's over there doing what he need to do. And David was beating up lions and bears and all kinds of wildlife. And he was doing his thing. He didn't care what nobody said because he knew who he was. He knew who he was. And the thing about it is, we get to a place where we don't even know who we are. We just know that we're saved, we're sanctified, we're walking with God. We don't know the direct call that God have on us, because so many times we look at other people's situation or look at how other people are saying we should do it. But God is saying, know yourself, know your self-worth. Know that in 2019, I called you for better things. So get your mind ready to receive the new things. You can't put new wine in old wineskin. It's going to burst. So get your mind out of the gutter. I was telling someone, and I keep saying that because I literally was just telling someone, we was in a snowstorm here in North Carolina the last few days. And so I said, when people bring garbage to you, you have to let them know I can't be around negativity. I personally do not be around negativity. If it's negative, I'll let you go. I just personally can't have that filter into me. And so I told them, I said, you have to get to a place to be nice about it. But you have to say, you know what? My garbage day is on Tuesday. And I can't, I'm sorry, but I can't take in any more garbage. So I don't know what day your day is for your garbage, but I think you might need to just go release that there, because I can't take in anymore. Whenever someone bring you something that's not godly, or that not lining up with your spirit, or not lining up with your mind, what God has your vision going, then you have to say, you know what, sis or brother, I love you, but I can't receive that. I don't have anything against you, but I cannot receive that, because that's not what God has called me to be, or that's not where he's taken me. And that's not what the vision he has given me. Now, sometimes our vision change. Don't get me wrong. But if it's to a point where it's causing you to really look at where you at, and it's changing you to a point where you know that could not be God, because we get prophecies, we get different words, we get people encourage us in different ways, but it have to line up with your insight and with your gut. You have to know that this is what God has told you to do. So when things happen in your life, you have to say, I can't take on that, because I'd rather be free. Who the Son set free is free indeed. So I'd rather be free in my spirit, free in my mind, free in my intellect, free in my body to move forward, than to be bound down by my past, to be in bondage from mistakes, be in bondage from someone else's opinion, be in bondage from someone else's way of thinking about me, because my mind have to stay free in order for me to move forward. Allow yourself to be free in your spirit, be free in your mind, because what the thing about it is, we already know the enemy is coming to play tricks on us. He come to kill, steal, and destroy. And so what we know is that he's going to come with the mind. And what he does with the mind is he attacks what your past say about you, what your past had done, what you did in your past, how you handle situation. He brings up old memories when God is trying to create new memories. He'll bring up the old memories while God is trying to create the new memories. So you have to allow yourself to say, I'm not going to do that. Like I told someone next week on my Facebook Live, and you can go to my www.neuropathictrainers.com to follow me on my Facebook Live page, because everything is linked in there. But I told someone, I said, next week I want to talk about unforgiveness, because we have to allow our mind to be prepared to forgive so we can move into 2019. You have to get to a place where you let go of things that's holding you back, or people that have caused problems, because you have to get to the point where you say, you know what, I'm not going to be able to deal with you like that. I can't hold on to all of that, because I need to be free. I need to move forward. And in order for me to move forward, I have to be able to say, I can't do what you think I can do. I have to forgive you. I was telling them how I had, at a point in my life, I had my son's dad. I had to get to a place spiritually as well as mentally to forgive him. And once I forgave him, I knew that wasn't, because where he was going was not where I was going. And I had to be, he was gone about his business. And here I am still holding on to unforgiveness. I'm still holding on to these things that I thought, I'm going, he going to treat me like that. I'm going to be this way. I thought that it was okay. But what I realize is that in order for me to grow in the Lord, in order for me to have a shift in my mindset, I had to forgive him. So sometimes people might have done you wrong in your childhood, or in your relationships, or even on your job. I was talking about how people would go on interviews for new jobs, and when they ask them about the previous jobs, whatsoever is in you about that anger, it'll come out, and you'll talk about how they treated you. And next thing you know, the interview went sideways, because all this stuff is starting to come out about your previous job. You got to let people go. You have to let things go. If they did you wrong, so be it. Forgive them and move on, because I don't want something significant or something so minute, so small, to stop me from going to my next level of blessings, because I didn't take the time to say, I forgive you. Or I didn't take the time to have forgiveness in my heart, because I don't want anything, any bitter, any malice, anything like that to cause me to not have forgave someone. And so when you get to a place in your life where you saying, I can't forgive you, you telling them, you know what? I don't trust that my heart can be bended. But God said, I will mend the broken heart. I will take care of your issues. I will help you when you didn't know that you needed help. So allow him to take care of you the way you need to be taken care of. So those are some of the things I wanted to talk about tonight. I just wanted to encourage you, get on here and let you know we have 19 days left. And in these 19 days, take the time to say, you know what? I'm going to do the things that I know is right. I'm going to walk into my, I'm going to be able to see myself move forward in the blessings of the Lord, because I don't want to hinder what God has called me to do based off of me not doing what I know I need to do. And so live your best life. Yes, we want to live our best life, but we don't want to play Russian roulette with our health. How can I live my best life when I'm not healthy? I tell someone, health comes before wealth. Health comes before wealth. The word health, H, comes before W, wealth. You cannot be healthy, or I should say wealthy, and not be able to maintain your health. You got to be healthy spiritually, mentally, and physically. So you got to allow yourself to be healthy in order for you to be able to utilize your wealth properly, because it would be crazy. This is my thought. This is just me thinking. Evangelist Trina, thinking about how I'm wealthy, but I have all these health issues that's not allowing me to walk in my abundance the way I need to. It's not allowing me to sow the seeds or enjoy the harvest that God has given me, because I'm not healthy. So don't go and have this Russian roulette with your health. You want to live your life. Oh, I'm going to live my best life. I'm doing all those things. But are you really? Are you living your best life regarding your health? Are you living your best life regarding your body? Are you living your best life regarding your mind? Are you constantly feeding your mind the things it needs to have in order for you to maintain it throughout the year? Are you allowing yourself to grow daily? Are you allowing yourself to get to the place where you can say, you know what? This is a good day. This is a day that the Lord has made. And I will rejoice because I know God has a better plan for me. I will rejoice because I know I'm going into the right areas. So many times we look at where we at as if it's the only place that we can go because we put so many limitations or breaks or stops or whatever you want to say in front of God saying, move forward, move forward. 2019, allow yourself to move forward. Allow yourself to see yourself in a different way that you never seen yourself before. Allow yourself to say, what? I'm not where I used to be, but I'm sure not where I was before. I may not be where I used to be at, but I know that I'm moving a little further up the road, as my mom will say, up the road or up the ladder. I can look back over my life and I know where I've come from, and I'm not that old person anymore. I'm not that person anymore. So where I was, I'm not there anymore. Where you was, you're not there anymore. So what you're doing is you're telling yourself, I'm in a better place now. My mind is moving forward. And it's just like you have to be like the horses where you have those blinders on. Sometimes you have to keep blinders on to keep people from coming into your space. Because sometimes when you go higher in the Lord or wherever you need to be at, you have people to come in your circle that don't need to be in that circle. So put your blinders on and keep your vision towards the Lord. Keep your vision towards where you need to go at in 2019. Take these next 19 days, fast if you have to, call on prayer if you need to, get a prayer group going, whatever it takes, because you're expecting divine favor in 2019. And I've been talking about that for the last few weeks. You're expecting divine favor in 2019. And what do you mean by divine favor? You're expecting sudden blessings. Suddenly something happened. Suddenly you walked in a door and they just gave you something. Suddenly, because that's the favor of God. And divine favor, that means it's uniquely done. It's something that's happening right then and there. And so I wanted to talk, so I can get this in front of me and tell you what divine really mean. So many times we look at where we at and we're like, well, what does that mean, Trina? You talking about divine favor. What does that mean for me? And so when you talk about divine favor, you're telling yourself, I'm trusting God for where he has me. I trust God for my divine favor. So divine favor to you may not be the same as someone else. Your divine favor is for you and what you're dealing with right now. And so that's how you have to understand this. So I wanted to go over with you and say, what does divine mean? It's like God. It's excellence. It's delightful. And so that's what a divine is. Divine is being godly. Divine favor is being godly. So when you say she's talking about divine favor, that means the favor of God. That's what it says. So go back and look at the definition of divine. And I just Googled it. So you can look at divine. It says of, from, or like God, or a God. So if I said divine favor, and we know what divine favor is going to do. So you have to look at where you at and say, you know what? I want divine favor in 2019. And that's what he's calling me to tell you is that you want divine favor in 2019. So divine favor is meaning that I need to be able to be in a place where I'm trusting God no matter what. I'm trusting his will. I'm trusting what he's given me. What did that divine favor do? And so you have to be able to say, this is where I'm at. So in the book of Psalms 5 and 12, it says, for you, O Lord, will bless the righteous with favor. You will surround him with a shield. So in 2019, you have to look at where you're going. You have to look and say, he's giving me divine favor. He's giving me revelation. So he says, for you, O Lord, will bless the righteous with favor. I mean, you got to be doing something. You got to be righteous. You got to be doing something. But you will surround him as with a shield. That means he's going to protect you in 2019. Whatever the enemy come to throw those darts at you, whatever he's trying to get at you right now, it ain't going to work in 2019, because 2019 you walk in a divine favor. Divine favor is something that someone tries to bring attack upon you, but it won't happen because you have favor. Favor is protecting you. Divine favor is ordering your steps. Divine favor is putting you in a place of recognizing that this is where you're going to go. So get your mind ready to receive your favor. Get your mind in tune to know God has something better for me. So in 2019, I'm walking in divine favor. That's my message for people. The whole year 2019, I'm going to be speaking about divine favor. I'm going to be telling you, and I'm going to increase my knowledge and increase your knowledge on walking in it. Get this book and read it. Read the prayer chapter, the challenge. Read the daily prayer challenge here, because once you read this challenge, it's going to challenge you to start exercising your faith. Once you exercise your faith, you're telling God, I trust you to walk in my divine favor. I know that divine favor means that it's going to be like you. I have to be able to be like him. That's what this book is going to teach you. You're going to be able to walk in faith like Peter. You're going to be able to see things like Jesus. You're going to be able to do things that you never seen before. And so you have to be able to walk in divine favor, because you want divine favor on your life. You want the shield of protection around your children, around your house, around your job, whatever you have. You want that divine favor. So you have to be able to say, you know what, God, I thank you for my divine favor. I thank you for walking in my abundance. I thank you for protecting me. I know what 2019 is. So take these next 19 days before you get in the new year. Start looking at where you at and saying, God, I thank you for divine favor. Divine favor in 2019 is going to block the enemy from attacking your family, block the enemy from attacking your finances, block the enemy from attacking your health. So say, I got to get my mind right, because I want my favor. I got to get my mind right, because I got to be able to walk in this thing. I got to get my mind right, because I cannot allow the enemy to trick me on certain things that I know God has called me. And so what happens is he'll trick you and tell you, oh, you can't do it, because he's trying to bring back your past. Don't let your past block you from your blessing. Don't let your past come and stop you from moving forward. So I need to tell you tonight, get your mind ready. Get your mind in sync. Get your mind lining up and say, you know what? I'm going to do this because I know greater is in me. The power and the greatness is in our mind, but we so much want to neglect or stop or block the power of the greatness coming out, because we're looking at what someone else might say about us or how someone else feel about us. And so we don't do what God has called us to do. So sometimes we'll say, I can't do it because, my siblings, they don't like when I do this. Or I know for me, example, I have some siblings. I mean, I'm the baby of seven. It was 10 of us, but I should say 6 of us are still alive now. And so there's certain siblings that I know that I can't say certain things to, because then they say, well, who you think you are, or what you think you're doing. And so you know that you can't go to certain people, don't go. Don't do it. Don't allow the enemy to come and trick you with your mind. Yes, I love my family. I love them. I'll do anything for them. But sometimes you have to say, when it comes past that roadblock, I can't break down that barrier. I can't, I have to put the shield, which is divine favor we're talking about. I have to put that shield to protect my heart, my mind. So you need to be able to go into 2019 and say, you know what? I got to protect my mind. Go into 2019 saying, you know what, God, put the divine favor around my mind, that I can think like you, I can be like you, I can do what I need to do. Protect my mind so I can walk in favor. So when you say divine favor, that means godly. That means the godly faith, the faith that you never thought you have, the faith that you said, well, okay, I didn't have this before, because now you said I have divine favor. Favor, like Bishop Jake would say, favor ain't fair. Sometimes favor will get you through doors that your knowledge, your intellect, your finances won't get you in. But you got God's favor. And so I'm asking for God's divine favor in 2019, because that's what he's promising us. So many times people go and get a word before the new year. And I've always got something from God for the new year. And what he's telling me to tell people is get your mind ready for divine favor. Get your mind ready because I'm going to protect from the darts. I'm going to protect you from the walls of the enemy. I'm going to protect you from the naysayers. I'm going to protect you from the haters, but I need you to be mentally ready. Be mentally ready to challenge you to get to that next level. So I'm so excited because I know that it's taken us to a next level. It's taken us to a next place of understanding God, understanding our purpose, but mainly it's letting you know that he have your back. So many times we want other people to have our back. We look back and say, oh, I'm glad my sister got my back, or my coworker got my back, or my husband got my back, my children got my back. But it's what a blessing and an honor and a privilege to let God have your back. When you let God have your back, you don't have to worry about someone sticking a knife in you and you turn your back. You're like, where did that come from? Because I got protection. I have that shield. So get your mind ready for 2019. Get your mind to the place where you say, God, I trust you in spite of when I can't trace you. I trust you to make things work out right now. Even if you're having problems with your children, I trust you, you're going to save them, even when I don't see them and see it being they being saved. I trust you that you're going to save my husband, even when I don't see it. I trust you that you're going to bring me a husband. If you're single, I trust that you're going to bring me a husband. And even if I don't see it, I trust that you're going to promote me on that job, even when I don't see it. I trust you. Start trusting him these next 19 days. Start speaking it out, proclaiming what your divine favor is, proclaiming this is what you believe in God for, so he can start moving towards that, so you can start moving toward this. Because one thing I know for sure is that you have to get to a place in your life where you say, I don't know where I'm going, but I know God got me. I don't see where it's going, but I trust God for the outcome. I know that he said it is finished. I just got to go through the process. Go through your process in 2018. These next 19 days, go through the process to get into the 2019 and saying that this is where I need to be at. Get into 2019 and saying, this is where I know because my favor is there. My blessings is going to run over. And so get to the place where you trust God in spite of everything. I so want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. I am so excited for the new year. I'm excited to know that God is going to protect us. He's going to put a shield around us. He's going to give us divine favor. Favor to a place where you walk down the road and people just bless you. Favor to the place where you go and buy a house and you didn't even have to pay any closing costs. Favor to the place where you buy a car and you thinking, oh, I can't afford it. And credit being restored, houses being restored, all the things that the enemy tried to take from you in 2018, 17, 16, 15. 2019 is divine favor. All those things are going to come back to you. Start walking in it with boldness. Put your shoulders back, hold your head up. Let the devil know I'm here and I ain't going nowhere. I'm here for the long haul. My mind is made up and I ain't turning back. That's what you have to say to yourself. Get back to the place where you say, I'm not turning back. I don't care what you bring my way. I don't care what you think. I am not turning back. So again, I want to come on and say thank you. Thank you for tuning in to Neuropathic Broadcast. I am so excited for Neuropathic Trainers Broadcast tonight. I am excited because I know what God has told me. And I know the more I give, the more the audience will grow, the more we'll be able to help more families, the more we'll be able to see things. I know that in 2019, I'm planning a couple of workshops with some physicians around the world. So you might find me in your city. I might be in Chicago. I might be, and I know I'll be in North Carolina. I plan on being in DC. I plan on being in Texas. And so I'm going to do one-day workshops with a group of doctors that want to help people, or even counsels, to get people to the place where they can realize where they at mentally. Mindset. I want to get your mind ready. So we're going to go on a tour. I'm going to do a workshop, and we're going to do a tour in 2019 to get you ready. So I believe for my divine favor, that favor is going to allow me to bless other families. Favor is going to allow me to go into that next place. So I'm so excited. Please, and I know January is approaching us. I will have our monthly newsletter out So that is something that I'm looking to do. And so I'm starting to go into a new coaching. I'm going to be a neuro coach for through a training progress. So I'm going to take some training on some classes that I'll be certified as a neural trainer. And so I'm excited about that because that is something that I'm looking to do, and so that I can help other people. And so please go to www.neuropathictrainers.com and register. Please subscribe to my website, so my page, so you can get the newsletter. We will have information from the Alzheimer's Association. We'll have information from from the Association of Frontotemporal Dementia. We will have so many different news. We actually have the gospel radio station here. We have that on our page, so you can tune into it there. So we have so many different opportunities that we want to grow. We want to expand in 2019. So please, please, I beg of you, come and get your mind ready for 2019. Don't let the enemy stop you from moving into 2019 with a bitterness, with unforgiveness, and not having your mind ready for your harvest. You got to have your mind ready for the harvest. We sow seeds, we sowing seeds, we sowing seeds, but when the harvest comes, we think that it can be overwhelming because mentally we wasn't ready for it. Mentally we wasn't ready for the harvest. So many times we just sow seed into ministries, different relationships, and when it comes, we're so overwhelmed with it because mentally we didn't take the time to think the process through to get ready for the receiving it. Receiving your harvest, receiving your divine favor. Let's get prepared for that. So I want to thank you again. Please go on to Neuropathic Trainers, www.neuropathictrainers.com. And if you're looking for me to come and do any speaking engagement, please go to www.trinabrown.speaks.com. I will be glad to come in and do workshops with you. I'm looking to do more workshops, do more conference, to give out more information through the associations, especially in the minority communities. We're targeting Hispanic and African American communities, Asian communities in regards of dementia. We are going to be focusing on going into those communities. So please, thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's close out with a quick prayer. Father God, we thank you for this time to speak to your people. We thank you for the opportunity, God. We actually right now that you would touch this broadcast, continue to open the ears of your people, continue to touch their heart and their mind, continue to let them know that they can live a healthy life and not to be doing Russian roulette with their health. Father God, let them know to walk into their abundance because divine favor is 2019. Let them prepare their mind for the divine favor that you call for them to have, that you're going to put a hedge of protection around them at all times. But we yet thank you for this station. We thank you for Pastor Kevin. We actually do continue to bless him and his family, continue to send the finances that they need, continue to send whatever they need that they're lacking right now, that you're going to send an overflow, double for their trouble, double blessings. I speak double blessings right now over their finances, over their life, Father God, and we thank you for divine favor. We thank you for they're walking in divine favor as well. So that you would do these things in Jesus' mighty name. Amen and amen. Again, thank you for coming on to the Neuropathic Trainers broadcast. I'm so excited to have you. Continue to tune in. Next week, I will be doing another show. So we're going to constantly do this up until Christmas. I probably will have a recording for Christmas, but I will have a special message. And so we want to talk about that. But next week, we'll talk about unforgiveness, how to prepare ourselves with unforgiveness and getting ready to move forward and forgive those people that need to be forgiven so we can move forward. So thank you again for coming on. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Please go to my website. And if you need me, reach out to me here on the radio station or moving forward. Have a wonderful evening. God bless.